How in the blue hell did I get a loss without any earned runs so far? Boy, this team is the drizzling shits, isn't it? It was this 1-0 bullshit here. That's how it happened. That's exactly how it happened. Oh, well. I see myself, I hear myself that... And, you know, playing the show 16, this game's almost 3 years old. Thought, because I was just having good bullshit retro video game conversations with, game shit. Something that I want to bestow upon my brother is the NES Classic. I want to get the Super Nintendo Classic as well, or the SNES Mini, whatever you want to call it. My brother loves the retro shit, so to get him, this is legit too. I mean, I know it's backwards, but it's real legit. NES Classic Edition, you can tell what it is. Yeah, anyway, that was my cheap Wahoo smile. But, yeah, my brother will be glowing because of this. So, I have to find the SNES Mini next up. What does this thing come with, even? I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking for here. Games included. Well, they better. You know, I should just open the box and look. Just for the fun of it. Ooh, box unveiling, opening thing. People love that shit. People just dig it. I just want to see how many controllers come with this thing if I need to buy a spare. Son of a bitch. Thinking, uh-huh. Oh, dude, is this like a whole fucking... Is this like a poster? I think that's a whole poster. He might dig the shit out of this. HDMIs. Oh, yeah, there's a poster to this. He'll dig that. I'll look at that shit later. Honestly, later. One controller, so I will need to go and buy another one. Fucking small, too, dude. Like, them's just a little bit off. Compared to what they should be. Oh, well. Cool! That's a thing. That is a thing. And my brother will dig that, so put that off to the side. And we got some baseball to play because reasons. SNES Mini might get you on the weekend. That's my guess. That's my guess. Thinking. Casey Braxton, as we jump back into it, with the Cleveland Indians organization. What are we? The Akron Rubber Ducks. And we are 7.5 games back of the division lead. How the fuck? 5-1, dude. And I didn't even allow the fucking earned... Well, the earned run is not against me. It's because of a fucking error. So the bats need to wake up as well. Because I know I can do the good thing. What did Billy Boy say? Nope. "14 strikeouts in the last start." Let's just get going here. It's a little after 10 p.m. Excuse me. I usually do the 3-game minimum. That's probably where I'm at right now, just mentally. Last week was kind of crazy, and today, like, Tuesday's already done.
Leading off for Harrisburg.
You know, so I'm just thinking.
Mendez.
Yeah! Look at that sweeper right in the fucking corner. Start off on a strike, he's done. Oh, and actually, you know, since I was talking about all this classic video game shit last time, let me just look through the games here. Balloon Fight. Boy, I really liked that game. A kid that we went to school with had it, and he let us borrow it for a while. It's very much like Joust. But there's something about it. I thought there was just a nice, cartoonish sort of feel to it. And I was like, that game's pretty fucking awesome. I like Balloon Fight. I do. Still to this day. So, like, that was a good treat. I like it. It's got some good, catchy little music to it. You know, it's one of the things, like, I wonder if my brother remembers that game. I wonder if he remembers the kid we borrowed that thing from.
He's out.
That kid also had Mighty Bomb Jack. We borrowed from him, and...
Right fielder.
Yeah. Well, you know. Lee Chu. Not pitching well right now. Sure, I got that first strikeout. Due for about 9 today at this clip. But a 1 pitch out, that'll save the arm. What else? Bubble Bobble. Now, I know of this game. I don't think I've really played it in full. But Bubble Bobble, shit, back in the day, I had this fucking VHS tape of like, oh, how to win at video games. Like, I'm sure a lot of kids my age, or people my age when they were kids, I'm sure they all had at least one of those.
Designated hitter.
Just because. Like, oh yeah, I don't know how to beat this game. Yeah. And I forgot exactly how that came about. It was something like, let's just say it was for my birthday. And I guess, let's just say that my parents got me, you know, a movie or something like that. And then my aunt and uncle got me the same movie. It was like, oh, well, you know, they kept their seat. I remember going with my aunt and my cousin to, I want to say it was Walmart back in the day, but either way, went back to the, back to the stores. It's like, oh, we'll just get another movie or something, you know, same price. And like, I couldn't find a price on it. And like, I bought this fucking, oh, I want to get this. And it's a popular enough, like, VHS fucking tape. I remember the cover to it. It had like a magenta pinkish kind of cover. It had a picture of the guy from Bad Dudes. It had a picture of Hulk Hogan tearing his shirt off. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of like wrestling. I want to get that. And, just, okay. Didn't really know what the fuck I was even buying. And then I get it, and my brother and I are like, yeah, this is cool. I was like, there's games on there that we don't know about, but like our cousin, a different cousin, like, they got that game. We can borrow that and do all the cheat codes that this, that this tape just told us. And, oh, my brother said, oh, a kid that I'm in class with has this game, and
0-2 is the count.
I could borrow that from him. We could play this one and do all the cheat codes and get through it and all this stuff, and just going about that. And but wouldn't you know, Bubble Bobble, that's where I was getting back as I look at the list again. Bubble Bobble was on that fucking VHS tape. And there's some kind of, to get the good ending, you need to do it this way, and then, like, press these buttons or some shit like that, and, like, then you'll get the good ending. It looked like a pretty fucking weird, very Japanese game. Just the animation of the caricatures, with kind of the bigger eyes and the smaller little mouths. Later on, I would know that as, like, Japanimation. Final Fantasy games would kind of get towards that.
Ball one. Ball one, no strikes.
Especially 7. But yeah, at the time, fucking late 80s, I had no idea about that whole run of, like, anime. I'm sure it was a thing, even here in the States, but I had no fucking clue about it. Didn't know what it was. Bubble Bobble very much
I got the count 1 and 2.
That style, now that I'm looking back at it. So it's like, yeah, okay, that's might be interesting. I don't know if he'll be... Oh, the cutter got him. I don't know if he'd be interested to play that straight up. But eventually. Endless Animals in the house. Welcome in to a late night live stream Let's Play of MLB The Show 16. Yup, and I'm talking old school video games again. That's goddamn right. As I was just showing off, did I hear Bubble Bobble? You did? And the reasoning behind that is because I picked it up for my brother, which I'll give it to him when I head up for vacation. I know it's backwards, but the NES Classic. So I got the NES Mini. I'm going to take this on the flight with me and bring it up to Wisconsin. I need to get the SNES Mini as well, but I was just going through the list of games on here, just briefly talking about them for what I remember. Back in my day, yes, Bubble Bobble Original. Although I think Part 2 is on, yes, Part 2 is on here as well, Simon's Quest. Yeah, what's going on, Animal? How are you?
No balls, 2 strikes.
I'm gonna strike this motherfucker out. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Sounds like a 1980s wrestling promo. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down there and tear you a head. Yeah. They were so creative. Half day for school tomorrow, so that's what. My God, brother, you've been getting like days off and half days and all that shit. Still getting pounded with snow, huh? I mean, hell, you may have had Monday off for President's Day yesterday. No, I don't remember. I mean, like, post offices and banks I know were closed.
I got the count 0 and 2.
But maybe you had yesterday off, and already tomorrow going to be a half day, so shit, you're just fucking coasting to the weekend real nice.
Ball, that's outside.
Half days were always okay in my book.
That's ball 2.
Oh, looking at it. Looking at it, looking at it. Uh-huh. Bad pitch, but an even worse swing. Cutter gets him. You did have school yesterday. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't remember all the fucking holidays that, like, they would give us off. I mean, you'd get, like, Christmas break and shit like that. Some kind of a spring break. Might have been around East start. Memorial Day was damn near when the school year was done. And maybe you would get those, depending on where you're at. You don't get days off that others do.
Number 25.
We have school on President's Day. We have school on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Okay. Yeah, like those days I thought we also had school. Like, I hear it down here, like, towards Miami, like, it's all fucked. And I know there's, like, just larger fucking population and the districts are weird, but I could have sworn a buddy of mine, I thought he said, like, oh, no, well, like, the kids have school Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then maybe the next week is Tuesday, Thursday. It sounds worse than a tech school schedule. It sounds really fucking weird. Unless I totally misunderstood him. Or unless that was the days he was able to go pick up his kids. I could have totally misunderstood him.
Lee True.
But it seems weird down here. I mean, it is weird down here. I mean, Florida Man is always a fucking hashtag that's trending on Twitter.
0-1.
I mean, Drew Curtis's Fark.com, it's all like this, not even spoof news, just fucked up news. Florida has its own tab. Yeah, this is a great place down here. Florida, a sunny place for shady people, and they're fucking weird, bro. I just live here. 12-6, and that curveball gets him. But, yep, it's been, last week kind of flew by for me. This week, I mean, like I said, shit, Tuesday is already done. So that's cool. Sean White? Did you just see the guy's name? It was Sean White, but not the snowboarding flying tomato guy. At least I don't think. Looked like he had a tan. A lot more melanin than I remember. Well, Sean White, he was the shit, like, yeah, 2008, somewhere around there, wasn't he? Didn't even do, like, Winter Olympics, let alone the fucking X Games. That was a stud. Name of the game is missing from the stream again. Why the fuck? I made sure to refresh that shit.
Ronnie Gant.
Yep, I'll look for it. MLB The Show 16. I don't know why it's doing that. English, sports game, done. I will check it. My stream's a little bit fucked up, too. I might have to open up a new window. That was a bad pitch. Okay, let me redo this again. Alright, name of the game is missing from the stream again. I'm opening a new window. Just to see. So I kind of lost that bit of the fucking chat, is what I'm saying. Look at that, right there at the fucking mark.
The count, 0-2.
Count 0-2. It's about to be sit the fuck down. Not just yet, but it's about to. Yeah, see, again, I refresh it, doesn't look like it went. Motherfucking, dude, I'm telling you, Twitch has been wonky. It really has. Sweeping curveball, got him. Alright, it shows up category there.
The catcher, number 3.
Tags, I don't know, can I...
Casto.
No, I can't do that, huh? Alright. Alright. I don't know why that's not doing that. Check it in. It just doesn't seem to want to show, and I don't fucking know why that is. Swear to God, I'm trying to get that thing locked in. Well, I mean, shit, there's actually people here watching, and they don't even know. Oh, let's just see what MJ's doing. What? Playing an old fucking sports game? Yeah. Yup.
0-2.
Because I'm like that, and that's the way it is. Not to get all Run DMC on you, but fuck if I can sing or rap. I just...
Ball, that's outside.
If I had a rap group, I'd call myself the Drizzling Shits, because I can't do it. It'd be terrible.
2-2 the count.
Plus, I'm white. It's just, the odds are literally against me. It's like some people that, oh, I can't dance, I got 2 left feet. I don't know. I guess for rapping and singing, I guess I have 2 upper lips. I don't know. Or you try to ask somebody about, doing handiwork. It's, I don't know. I got 2 left hands. I can't fix nothing.
Leading off for the Senators, third baseman.
And that's no offense to people who have 2 left hands, 2 left feet, and 2 upper lips. But, well, you get what I'm saying. The odds are clearly stacked against you. That was a good hit off of a perfect timing pitch. Goddamn. Oh, well. Yeah, trying to get this locked in here. I swear to God, category.
Second baseman, John Shimchak.
Get that thing locked in there. I don't know why that's not going. Your content must follow our guidelines. I get that. Content. Fuck. Is this swearing allowed? Hope so. God damn it. Anyway, yeah. Back to the NES mini list. Castlevania, which honestly, I didn't play a whole shitbox full of the original Castlevania. A lot of exposure that I had to that game
I got the count.
was back in those cheap-ass fucking arcades, those
3.
Ooh, Cutter got it. I think they were called like Play Action 10s or NES Play Score 10s or some bullshit. It was basically it was a stand-up kind of cabinet arcade, and you'd put in your quarter, which would be basically a timer. And then there was a list of like how many games, Choice Action 10, maybe or something along those lines, the name of it. That was a good hit, but not good enough. Play Action 10, Choice Action 10, something like that. Fuck, I keep rambling. But, well, swearing is probably expected because when I joined, it told me it was for mature audiences and I had to click start watching. Okay, yeah, see, I never have that when I go to watch my own stream. Maybe that's just an automatic thing for me, I don't know. But yeah, I put that disclaimer on. Now, for the YouTube viewers, they don't really get that, so... fuck it, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. But those old, kind of bullshit arcade cabinets, those things were meant to steal your quarters because you put in your quarter, and they would show you, somewhere in the corner of the screen, there'd be like a timer. And it would give you, like, I don't know, 300 seconds. Let's just ballpark it, maybe 500 seconds for 1 quarter. And, like, that sounds decent, but if you die in the game, it's not like you can just keep repeating. Or maybe you could, I don't remember. Actually, maybe you could there, but still, you would never get back to where you were. Because, okay, let's just say it was 500 seconds. You take 400 seconds, and you get so far to level 3 in the game. In 100 seconds, you're not going to get back to that same point or surpass that. Not likely. So that 1 quarter worth was basically, you're basically cracking away at 1 game for that allotted amount of time. And I remember Castlevania was one of those games that was most of the exposure I had to it. I remember there was a Pizza Hut where I grew up. Had that Choice fucking 10 stand-up arcade. And that Castlevania game, that fucking game is tough. It really is. So, I mean, at that time, I picture I'm like 9, 10, 11 years old. That is a tough fucking game when you're that age. It's probably tough now, and I'm closer to 37 than I am 36. So, yeah. But Nintendo games back then, like, they were... See, that's the thing. There's the new saying that I've been hearing, well, newer to me. It's like, well, that game is Nintendo hard.
No balls, 2 strikes.
You know, they say that about, like, Dark Souls 3, like, the game called You Die. That's pretty much, or You Died. It's like, that's pretty much all that happens. That's the screen you see all the time. You died. You died. You died. And people say, well, that game's Nintendo hard. It's because a lot of those old Nintendo games were sort of built on that mechanism of, like, tough like an arcade game. Arcade games were meant to steal your money. And just eat up your quarters and fucking... They were meant to make money for them, not you. So if you were good at Pac-Man, at Cubert, at Frogger, bless your fucking heart. But the Atari games, and a lot of them were simple as shit. Gimme. Bad throw. That might be the first legitimate base hit. You fucking asshole. Well, at least they got 3 outs. I get pulled? I mean, it is only 1-0, but... Hey, the loss, if we get it, can't be handed to me. And they start with a hit. And they advance the runner with 1 out, so a strikeout, I guess. 2 outs, 3 outs, yay! Alright, so we do win. And I get the win. Somebody gets a save, though. I didn't get the full game, finally! I finally do not get a 9-inning fucking set. 13 strikeouts in 7 innings. Damn near 2 an inning. Fucking idiot skipper. Yeah, this guy finally allowed a fucking hit. I better give him the hook.
First for the victorious rubber duck.
Fucking dipshit. What an idiot skipper, huh? But anyway, Castlevania, yeah, tougher than shit because a lot of the old arcade games you were not meant to win. It was just meant to fucking throw quarters in there and make those fucking people money. And I get that. Probably not the best fucking model for business, but you wanted to make money. And I'm sure those cabinets didn't exactly, you know, I'm sure they weren't fucking cheap. And picture that, just for like Donkey Kong or Pac-Man alone. Just take, let's take one thing, Pac-Man. Everybody knows Pac-Man. I'm just saving right now, excuse me. Everybody knows Pac-Man, and picture how many of those actual stand-up fucking cabinets. I mean, these things were fucking huge. They're probably like 6 feet tall, 3 feet-ish wide. The depth to it, probably another 3 feet. This thing was like a mini refrigerator, and fucking heavy. So you picture the electronics, the wiring, all that shit. You have a heavy fucking, pretty much a glass monitor in this thing. You have to make a bunch of these things, and it's all like wooden fucking cast framing and all that. You need to make literally thousands of these and ship them off to these arcade centers. You need to ship them off to a mom and pop fucking pizza joint in the middle of goddamn Saskatoon. So literally, thousands of these stand-up cabinets of fucking Pac-Man were made. And those people need to make their money back. So for all these quarters that need to get pumped into it, yeah, so a lot of these games were just meant to fucking chew up all of your goddamn money. Every last quarter you had, cough that bitch up is what they were pretty much saying. Hey, let's play another game. And a lot of the early Nintendo games were kind of using that same model of, this game needs to be tough. Why, I don't know. Sure, they gave you 3 lives, 5 lives, and 3 continues or some shit like that. Maybe you could start at the beginning of that world or that level upon your continue. After all your continues were done, nope, you're back to square fucking one. Like, take the Mario games for a guess. Super Mario Brothers. Now, sure, I don't even know how that went if there were continues, but prime example, there were like 8 worlds, and sure, there's like World 8 Level 1. World 8 Level 2, World 8 Level 3, you get the idea, World 8 Level 4. 4th level usually being Bowser's Castle. So if you died at, like, World 8 Level 3, oh, I'm out of lives, but I have my continues. You'll be back to World 8 Level 1, not 8-3. So, okay, you have to work your way back up to that. Fine, that's fair enough. But once the continues are gone, nope, right back to World 1, all the fuck over again. So, yeah, there was a Nintendo hard kind of, you know, that phrase has kind of been catching in, I would say, maybe the past 10 or so years, because I never heard that as a kid, but that was definitely a fucking thing. It existed, I just didn't have a name or a phrase for it.
Douglas.
And I mean, a lot of that shit was like, yeah, try playing these games without a Nintendo Power magazine, without a fucking Game Genie. Dude, those things changed the fucking game, literally. If you had a Game Genie, and you could find, like, the codes and shit for something like Infinite Lives helped, you know, Infinite Energy, or, like, Always Invincible, it's like, that's how you rock through these games. Whew. Douglas. He gets to sit down. The yard goes. You just got rubber ducked, motherfucker. Anyway, so yeah, Castlevania. Jesus Christ, it's taken me 5 innings, and I'm already into my next game to talk about that shit. But,
0-1.
I have a Game Genie, it's for your Game... Oh, wow, I didn't know they made those. A Game Genie for the Game Boy. I never knew that existed. I had one for the Super Nintendo, and I went to school, you know, elementary school with people that had one. You know, you'd borrow it from them.
Hey!
Ooh, cutter. I mean, that's a handcuffing pitch. It's either you might break your bat if you do make contact. Ooh, also, I have one for your Game Gear. Wow. I didn't know many people that had it. I knew maybe 3 people that had the fucking Sega Game Gear. And it was a unique handheld. But check me if I'm wrong in that one. It either took a bunch of, like, the big D-cell batteries, or it needed a fucking plug-in to, like, the actual fucking wall outlet. Maybe both. Yeah, the Game Boy, batteries. That thing would have been so good. Ooh, I believe that was our 12-6. We'll get them on the rundown. Yeah, the Game Boy I know is all, like, probably, like, AA batteries. It takes 6 AAs. Okay. For the Game Gear, or... Because I want to say that maybe the Game Boy in my brain took, like, 4 AAs. If the Game Gear took 6... Because that one was... It was longer, more rectangular, and it had a color screen, if it's the correct thing I'm thinking of.
Dan Hackman.
But, I mean, I'll give the Game Gear credit there. I know it was, like, way more expensive.
0-1.
The Game Gear does 6 double. Okay, I thought for some reason those big-ass fucking... Those big, like D-cell batteries.
I have to count 0-2.
Like about 4 of them. And those are fucking big, fat-ass batteries, too. Ooh, sweeper got him. Game Boy takes 4. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying the technology wasn't there, because that just sounds ridiculous, but if they had the fucking means for... Oh, I thought that was the break of the pitch. If they had the means to, like, make a Game Boy, like, with just a, you know, AC adapter, just plug it into the wall and go, man, you would have had so many kids, like, just dead tired for school in the morning, because they would have stayed up all night, keep that thing plugged in, and just fucking play Tetris and Super Mario Land. And along the way, the one game that kept the Game Boy alive fucking way longer than it should have been, of course, was Pokemon. Without Pokemon, the Game Boy should have died years beforehand. That fucking game alone kept the Game Boy relevant, sold more Game Boys, sold a lot of Pokemon games.
Ball that's outside.
I mean, a brilliant move, but complete fucking... it worked out. I'm sure it was way more successful than they ever anticipated, though.
1-1.
But if there's one to end, like, I can't think of another game that that kept a system alive longer than that. I can't think of anything. I mean, Nintendo? Well, when the Super Nintendo came about, like, sorry, but there was nothing... Dr. Mario wasn't going to keep the NES alive. It just wasn't. I don't know what later term Nintendo games that had come out after the Super Nintendo's release, like, no, this is a reason to keep a Nintendo. There was no need. Super Nintendo into Nintendo 64. Yoshi's Island kind of got lost in the mix. Super Mario World 2. But I don't think that held people towards the Super Nintendo. The 64 come about, and that was really a shaker and a breaker. PlayStation comes out.
0-1's the count.
There is an AC adapter you can plug into the Game Boy to keep it on without battery. There is. It uses the same kind of cord as your HP2 in a laptop or a tablet. Well, fuck me, I didn't know that. I obviously didn't have one. Always playing it on the go. So I never knew anybody to have it, like, you know, sitting there
1 ball, 2 strikes,
plugged into the wall. Playing, yeah, like, whatever, a foot and 2 feet away from the fucking wall socket, you know. Sweeper, and he's gone. Yeah, I just don't remember a game that helped keep a system alive longer than it fucking should have been. It just... It may never happen again. I just don't think that would ever be the case. I just don't. Pokemon was such a fucking anomaly that still runs strong today. But Pokemon kept the Game Boy alive, I would say, 5 years, at least 5 years later than it should have been, already dead. 12-6, and he's gone. Oh, what else was I going to say here? Still talking about Castlevania, kind of. That game's tougher than shit. Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest going on the list here. I had a lot more exposure to that game because my brother was in class with a girl that he was kind of, you know, crushing on, and they were cool like that.
0-1's the count.
But she had it, and she let us borrow it, and, like, we knew that fucking code to get, like, all the items and all the things. That might have actually been on that VHS tape I was talking about, Bubble Bobble, that whole thing. That might have actually been on that, or it was, of course, probably in Nintendo Power. Because how would you know to take that crystal, kneel down next to a fucking the wall of a mountain, kneel down for 5 seconds, and a tornado will come and take you over to the next castle you need to get into? How would you know? Either one of those VHS tapes with all the fucking tricks on it, or Nintendo Power Magazine, of course. What about Mario Brothers 3? That game came out at the end of the NES's life. It did, but that... I wouldn't say... Like, that's still considered by a lot of people, and I get it, how it's probably considered one of the best NES games of all time. And I totally get that. I was still in love with Mario 2, and I don't know, I'm not against Mario 3 at all, but I don't think that game made people still go back to buy Nintendos, as the Super Nintendo was already out. Because then they saw, you know, the Super Nintendo, like, dude, alright, even that Sonic the Hedgehog guy, he ain't got shit on Mario now. Mario's got a cape, he's got this cool dinosaur friend named Yoshi. Fuck your life. You know, Mario 3 is great in a lot of its own ways.
I got to count 1 and 2.
Probably one of the best Nintendo games, I would say. You know, all on its own. Outside of, you know, the pure sales of Super Mario Brothers that came with the system itself, I would say that's got to be probably the single best, in a lot of ways, just single best Nintendo game. But I don't think people were going back to buy... And I'd have to look at the timestamp on that, too. 1990, 1991 for Mario 3.
Now batting,
I don't think people were still buying Nintendos in 1992, 1993 to go back and get Mario 3, because by that point, if you didn't have a Super Nintendo, you sure as fuck wanted one to play Mario World. And, you know, the Pilot Wings and Sim City and all that shit. Brand new types of games, brand new looking shit, F-Zero. Because, yeah, I mean, it literally was an afterthought. And, like, I loved the Mario stuff early on, but 1, 2, and 3, loved them, played the shit out of it. I was a Mario fucking junkie, and World was no exception for me. Did you know they still make games for the Wii at the newest... the newest Just Dance games still regularly release on the Wii. I did not know that at all. Huh. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Wii, when that thing first came out, of course, the Wii Sports game that came with the system, that, I believe, is still the top-selling game in video game history. More than E.T., because E.T. didn't sell on the Atari. More than Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo. Anything else on Super... nothing. Nothing I think will ever surpass that, to be brutally honest. Which I think is kind of unique and kind of cool. Sweeper, and he's gone. But, and for some people maybe this is old news, but still, I'm in the conversational mood. Could go for a shot here soon enough. I'll be alright, though. That is interesting, though, that the Wii still gets shit produced. Okay, well, that kind of... Maybe that's the Pokemon for the Game Boy, then. That could be the extending the life of that console longer than it should be. That's... Okay.
Leading on.
I didn't know that, and, I mean, the Wii, I know, has kind of been on its last legs, probably, since, what, 2010? And if they're still going strong, a good 8-9 years later, with you know, one game series on its release bit, okay, that definitely shuts me up. Not trying to be a know-it-all, but I know there's actually the most sold game ever is Tetris, for an individual console, I believe, because I know Tetris covers a lot of formats, but I believe on an individual console, I believe that's what the criteria I have is.
Now batting.
And I would need to check my sources, but... Because, yeah, I mean, Tetris covers a lot of fucking ground. Probably on a handheld that we don't know about here in the U.S. Obviously the Game Boy, the Nintendo, probably the Famicom over in Japan. Versions and variations of it on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I can see that. But on one individual console is probably the way. Okay, yep, that's got to be it. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, because Tetris, I tell you, that was a great trick my friends had. It's like, sure, everybody likes Tetris, but if they had a Game Boy, they could get the chicks with Tetris. Yep, so all you
Now
younger
batting.
kids out there,
Left fielder.
of course everybody has like all these cool phone games now, so fucking you got your Angry Birds and all that shit. Back in my day, Tetris was the way to get chicks involved in playing video games and get a little bit of attention. You'll be looking like, Jenny's kind of cute. Cutter, got him. Watch a video of the history of Tetris. Has a really complicated past, and it's sold on it's on some old computers as well. Yeah, I could see that. And yeah, like I've heard things. I heard things about a lot of legal bullshit as far as, you know, the rights, like who actually made Tetris and where do all the rights go and distribution between console to console. Like that's probably why it's one of the best-selling game of all time. More so than like Pac-Man, because Pac-Man for Nintendo was ported by, I want to say, like Tengen. And I could be wrong there. Correct me if I'm wrong, by all means. But initially, that's is that not an Atari game? Did he not eventually go to Midway? 12-6 for the strikeout, or maybe that one company ate up another. It's now it's Namco, of course, is like the name most associated with Pac-Man. I don't think that was it initially. It might have been straight up Atari. Popped up and gone.
Now batting, second baseman, Peter Tavares.
But Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Yeah, back to that.
0-1's the count.
Yeah, that game very unique in its own way because it's kind of its own weird RPG.
0-2.
And there's several endings to that game. Well, I think 3 endings. If not at least 2. And that's the game where, like, it has a day and night cycle. And it's like, if you beat the game in, like, 8 or fewer game days, that's the good ending. If you beat it, like, exactly as, like I said, at least 2 endings. Anything afterwards, probably, or if you beat it on the whatever, on that allowed day, like, then it's like, it's kind of another ending. And then there's the bad ending. If you took too many fucking days, took too long.
Leading it off.
That's a game like I've beaten with codes and Game Genius and all that shit, never straight up. And I don't know if I would even want to attempt it. Castlevania, almost the same thing. Like, I'm sure I would have fun with those. Yeah, Castlevania 2, very, very innovative in its own right. To take what that franchise, I say franchise, it was one fucking game, to stray away from what the original game was so much that now, you know, it is seen as the black sheep of the fucking series, at least for the Nintendo games. One pitch out, I dig that.
Now batting, first baseman, Chris Standridge.
So a lot of that to do, and then just so many fucking items that you can get in that game. And all the hidden bullshit, the hidden floors. You have to just keep throwing holy water, and if it falls through, I have to jump over those blocks. It looks like there's solid flooring there, but anybody who doesn't know, trust me, that is one of the most cryptic games, I would say. That ranks right up there with The Legend of Zelda. How do you know to burn this bush with a candle, to fucking open up a hidden pathway to go get a secret weapon that you need to, get yourself through the fucking, the 4th dungeon, whatever, that's very obscure. You would need Nintendo Power. Is entirely full. What are my perks? Can't do anything? Son of a bitch. What's the call here? Alright, you want Uncle Charlie. Alright, let's give it to him. Guess what time it is? 12-6 gone. Yeah, Castlevania 2 is very fucking cryptic. Like, you'd never figure this shit out on your own. You just wouldn't. Next up on the list here, Donkey Kong. Fairly self-explanatory. I mean, I believe that is character Mario's first ever video game appearance as Jumpman, as he was known. Yay, we got a run. But, yeah, Donkey Kong, another iconic arcade game that was ported to the Nintendo and other systems, I'm sure.
Third baseman,
But see, that's a game where I have to sneeze. I do. God, these allergies have been kicking me and fucking kicking my dick in the past week and a half here. I feel a sneeze building, I swear it. But check me if I'm wrong, where Donkey Kong is a Nintendo property, and I think was initially. And to my knowledge, it's very...
He's out.
It's very difficult to find, like, any sort of pirated or downloadable, emulatable version of Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, and maybe even Pac-Man.
0-1's the count.
Because of, you know, the copyrights and just the absolute death grip that Nintendo has on the Donkey Kong likeness. And which is really weird to think about it, because, and I'm sure that made a shitbox full of money at the arcades back in the 80s, I'm sure of it. Cutter got him. Woo. Donkey Kong was always Nintendo's thing. And it's weird that Mario Jumpman kind of became his own deal, because in Donkey Kong Jr., check me if I'm wrong, you are, well, Donkey Kong Jr., trying to rescue your father, Donkey Kong, from Mario. So it's like the roles have been reversed. The concept of the game is the same. You know, climb to the top and avoid all the hazards. Concept is exactly the same, but the roles are reversed. So fucking Mario took a heel turn, like Hulk Hogan when he joined the NWO. For life, yeah. But he took a heel turn, kidnapped Donkey Kong, and now he needs to get his ass rescued. Sweeper and it's gone. But it was on the Atari, so that was a thing. Huh. R.I.P. Donkey Kong Jr. Poor little sumbitch. Well, Donkey Kong Jr. is the Donkey Kong from Super Nintendo's Donkey Kong Country. If you kind of follow the, I mean, whatever. Everybody's so pent up on, like, well, what's canon in the fucking Zelda? Where, like, what's the order of the games and this, that? I honestly don't care about all that shit. Even the Castlevania games, it's like, give me a good game and let's just have a Belmont go try to kill Dracula again. Like, I don't need a perfect linear fucking timeline of it.
Off in the bottom of the ninth, the shortstop.
You know, like, games have gotten so wound up in their own fucking shit like that.
0-1's the
And even like, oh god, what's his name? Like, the Nintendo guy. Shit, I can't think of it. The creator of, like, all that shit. He's like, so what? Like, does Mario need a story? Like, sure, he's no longer like a plumber. We don't have to say that anymore. Just, whatever. He's on an adventure. Mushroom Kingdom. He wears funny suits that give him special powers. So what? Does he need a story? Does it all have to go in an order? It's like, no, they're fun games. I mean, the legacy of Mario has been so established. You put his fucking face or image on anything, it's going to sell, and kids know what it is. And they'll go to it. It's a cash cow. It's Mickey Mouse. Did they know? Do Disney fans know about what is that? The Steamboat Willie cartoon? Do they know about that? Probably not. That was Mickey Mouse's first appearance, though. So should that make a fucking difference? Nah. Mickey Mouse is it's Coca-Cola. It's Band-Aid. It's Q-Tip. You know, it's a name so synonymous to its own, like,
second baseman.
It's its own brand.
Tavares.
It's literally its own fucking brand. Donkey Kong Jr.'s MIA. He might be current Donkey Kong. He might not be. Huh. And yeah, again, like the pathway story to that, going back to Donkey Kong Country.
0-1's the count.
On the Super Nintendo. I wonder if that's on the list. It might be. Of course, I would need to check my phone. I don't have the SNES Mini. But,
0-2's the count.
yeah, like Cranky Kong is, of course, Donkey Kong. In the Donkey Kong you play in Country, you're technically Donkey Kong Jr. Sweeping curveball.
Got it.
We'll get him on the rundown. Game over. He gone. Was that a perfecto or just a no-hitter? I don't even remember. They all look pretty happy for me. Thanks, fellas. Got some run support there, too. That was a perfecto. Alright. 20 strikeouts. Yeah, that's cool. Donkey Kong Country is on the Mini. Okay. Hey, I figured as much, because that was a game, when that came out, the graphical look for that was really like, whoa, this is fucking unique, man. There ain't nothing else that looks like this. "20 strikeouts in the 9 innings. But yeah, Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong Jr. also on the NES Mini. Same concept, we kind of just talked about that. Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. Now, Double Dragon is that's a very Nintendo franchise. Super Nintendo, it did not go well. Super Double Dragon fucking sucked. It had potential, but it just became so lather, rinse, repeat, 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 boring. It could have been something great. It really could have. But it could not, it did not. Ooh. Wow. Okay, so 14. What would I have to do to get here? 3 grand? I could probably almost wait that long to get that up to 80. 80 is a good number. This is my plus 12. That's technically 92. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on the K9 there. So, save her up. Back to Animal in the chat saying, I played the DK Country games originally on the Game Boy Advance. For some reason, they ported a lot of SNES games. Yeah, in Game Boy Advance, I never really had exposure to those. Because by that point, like, the handhelds were just pretty much, eh. As someone would say, they were just nyeh. Braves trade Arodes Vizcaíno to the Indians for Luis Francisco. Tigers trade Nick Castellanos and Anibal Sanchez to the Indians for Yan Gomes. Okay, 7-1. I mean, look at that. 123 strikeouts in 68 innings. Not quite 2 strikeouts an inning. I mean, that would take so much. Actually, I think my brother has a Game Boy Advance, and he has a Donkey Kong Country-looking game. Like, you get to go fishing for, like, those little icons. You collect 3 of the icons in one level, and you get, like, fucking 1-up or whatever. It looks like the ostrich, it looks like the fish, it looks like the frog, it looks like the rhino. Something like that rings a bell to my brain. He was digging that. He's very old school. Like, he may never buy a PS4. He has a PS3, never fucking plays it. He always talks about, oh, Mini Ninjas. I got that game, Mini Ninjas. Like, dude, you never fucking play. Like, I want him to get into this shit. At least play a sports game or two, that's all.
Leading off with a curve.
Like, just to get into something new. He's playing, like, PS2 NHL 09. And, like, dude, that game is so stiff and jagged and shitty. You have no fucking clue how bad that game is.
No balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, he doesn't play games nearly as much as I do, though. It's just I kind of want to just go a little further, man. This is our third game. I might be going longer because I'm talking video games. But yeah, Double Dragon was an arcade game, so of course the Nintendo port, which was pretty goddamn different altogether. That game was tougher than shit. Double Dragon 2 The Revenge, I love the shit out of that. That's another one that I forgot to bring up last time, where I said a lot of the 2 games. Mega Man 2, not quite a black sheep, but that's the game that everybody refers to. Super Mario Brothers 2, kind of the black sheep. Castlevania 2, kind of the black sheep. What was the other one?
0-2 is the count.
I don't think I mentioned Double Dragon 2, but that one, that's the one that people always refer to, much like Mega Man 2. Cutter got him. And yeah, Double Dragon 2, that is a beatable game.
Batting third.
And there is a little bit of a trick. If you put the game on, like, 2-player mode, where you can, like, hurt and attack your teammate, your buddy. If you do that, if you kill the other player, it's like you kind of get their life, their lives, if that makes sense. So you just do that right away in the beginning of the game, and you can have like 7 lives as opposed to like 3 or whatever, 4, some bullshit. So which is a great advantage if you're going on a 1-player run. Just put it on 2-player, I want to beat up my friend mode. Whether that's 2-player version A, 2-player version B, I don't recall. But yeah, that game, it had a unique button combo system. Whereas depending on which way you were facing, depended on what the buttons did. Let's say you're, okay, 2 buttons, B and A. So if you're facing this way, this would be your punch button because that's the way you're facing, and you'd punch with your fist. And if you're facing this way and you hit which would then be the B button, you would do like a back kick. So the way you were facing, and it would reverse depending on which way you were facing on the screen. So that was a unique little system, and I was digging that because it gave it a sense of like, okay, it's not just kick and punch, and then hit both buttons to jump. It gave it a little bit of a, not so much strategery, but you were able to defend yourself instead of turning to look at somebody in full. So, I mean, because a lot of those old Nintendo games were bullshit like that. In order to punch somebody, you know, if you're facing, you'd have to absolutely turn this way. Whereas if you're facing this way, nope, I can still kick you and punch the guy that's about to come at me. I can try to keep everybody at bay at the same time. So, like, that was a pretty unique thing, which I enjoyed. Yeah, Double Dragon 2.
Got him.
Really good game. Really good beat-em-up. More than just a side-scrolling platformer. It had a little bit of a vertical depth to it. Kind of a horizon line, if you will, a horizon point. I mean, sure, Double Dragon 1 had that as well. But, I mean, you picture a lot of the arcade beat-em-ups, like a Final Fight or things like that. Well, hell, even just your fighting games, your Street Fighter 2, your Mortal Kombats. It was a flat, 2D, that was it. There wasn't a whole lot of depth as far as, like, getting towards the screen, moving away, etc. But Double Dragon 2 had a little bit of that, which, in certain areas, not the whole thing. But I think gave it a little bit of depth as far as a beat-em-up. So that was part of the uniqueness for that franchise in full. Cutter got him. Yeah, really dug the shit out of Double Dragon 2. Dr. Mario.
Batting 6.
Match up the colors. It's not quite Tetris. It is a objects are dropping down in a puzzle fashion, and you need to eliminate rows and columns. And you just had to match colors. For me, way easier, because my brain just does not compute Tetris that well. It just doesn't. I'm not good with shapes, but I'm good with colors. At least jagged shapes. Ladies, I don't really care about shape. Because if the pieces fit, you know what I'm talking about. And I believe that was another 12-6 curveball. Yeah, Dr. Mario, pretty simple. Excite Bike, that was a pretty fucking cool game in its own right. Could be pretty tough. But, fun because it was a different kind of race. There was no, like, other dirt bike racers. I mean, you had Rad Racer, you had a lot of arcade racing games were always like a car. So that was always a little different.
Leading off with a curve.
But Excite Bike, maybe because it was like dirt bike style. Very cool game. An arcade feel to it. Like, you're not meant to fucking do well. You're not meant to succeed at every fucking track. You're just not. Get the top. You have to beat this fucking score in order to win and do well. But also, one of the first games I remember having some sort of a create your own whatever type of a feel to it. You could essentially create your own track. And there was memory involved in this, so you couldn't put... it's not like you could put like 100 items on the fucking track. But you could, however, just put a bunch of some mud pits that would slow you down, some weird fucking ramps.
0-2.
It's like you could save that somehow into the game and then load it up later, I think, without turning the game off. But that was, yeah, that was a very unique thing. But a fun one as well. Very fun game. I was digging that. What else is on the old NES Mini here? Final Fantasy, dude. I hadn't played that game for shit. And I didn't, like, I was bad at RPGs as a kid. So, like, anything like Legend of Zelda, like, I got it and I some people loved it. I just didn't get it because all the cryptic bullshit, like I said, burn this plant, the fucking find this little basement dungeon where you can get a secret item that will help you progress through, like, dungeon number 4, number 5, whatever the case is. That's my knee, don't worry about that. Just scratching here. Fucking video game addict. I got problems. Y'all got more of those video games? Anyway, yeah, Final Fantasy, I didn't know about that series in general. That's a cutter for a strikeout, by the way. I didn't know about the Final Fantasy series until probably the Super Nintendo when Mystic Quest was about to come out, because My brother and I were in like this little bit of a comic book splurging at that point, and we would always see ads for like, ooh, it's like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, ooh, coming to Super Nintendo. I was like, okay, that's the first I knew of that.
Leading off for
that
Altoona, center fielder Ricky.
Genre, not even
Roger.
genre,
0-1's
but
the count.
that series, the Final Fantasy series. And a friend that I was in school with had Mystic Quest, and again, I wasn't into the RPG
balls, 2
mindset.
strikes.
I didn't get it. I wasn't so in love with the idea of it. But then, even years after that, like, I found out, oh, so there was 12-6 curveball for the strikeout, by the way. So there was a Final Fantasy game on the Nintendo. Well, that's really weird, and I found it, everybody knows that it's buggy as shit.
Carrasco.
One of my friends actually beat that game straight up on a Nintendo, on original hardware. So I give him all the fucking credit in the world. Because again, that game had to be pretty tough. It was kind of weird in its own way. But yeah, that one I can't speak too much on, other than I'm familiar enough with the Final Fantasy series. At least for a good stretch of time. 7, 8, 9, Tactics, 10. That was about it. I didn't even bother with 10 too, because 10 was kind of a put-off for me. And I had, what fuck was it, 12? With Balthier and Vaughn and Pinello and all that. And that one just seemed too, I don't know, that was a too much of a Western RPG for me. I like the simple JRPGs, turn-based, not that actually out there in the battlefield kind of. I don't know, just not my style. Looked great, game looks beautiful, but it just wasn't for me. Anyway, if that's Final Fantasy, next up is Galaga, an old arcade beauty, and that's just the kind of, you got to shoot everything that's coming at you and not get shot by anything. And it sounds simple, it's very Space Invaders-esque if you know how that goes. That's like another Namco classic, if I know correctly.
Leading off for
But yeah, a classic arcade port.
Jake.
That, yeah, it's just a simple pick it up and go for a couple rounds and, see how far you can get. Check on all your power-ups and all that shit. And,
1-1.
Best of luck to you. I don't think there's an ending to the game because it's an arcade port. And arcade games never really end. Well, the old ones. Never really ended. And if anything, they looped. Donkey Kong had, what, like 3 levels? And it would just repeat until you were finally fucking done, dead, or out of quarters. Or both. So that's Galaga. Ghosts and Goblins. Fuck that game. I mean, y'all already know. You've seen every review on fucking YouTube about that game. Cutter. Like, there's nothing more I can say about that game. Other, like, interesting in its own right. If it wasn't so fucking difficult, that game, it's, I don't know, it's ambitious enough. And, it sets a good vibe for, like, the whole, not quite zombie apocalypse, but it uses a lot of the evil, the demons. You got goblins, you got fucking, well, not so much goblins, I don't know what those things are called. Big flying cocksuckers. That's what they're called. Maybe gargoyles and demons, and you got zombies right away, and it's very, it's kind of a different knight in shining armor kind of thing. Not to say that there's a whole lot of biblical tones to it, but there kind of is. Not quite like Castlevania, where you literally have holy water, and go to a church to get healed up, and drive a fucking stake through Dracula's heart. It's a little more heavy. Okay, Endless Animal, you're saying you love Ghosts and Goblins on the Nintendo, or what is it? Ghosts and Ghouls, whatever it is. You said the Super Nintendo one was the one you liked. Sweeping curveball for the strikeout. I think you said you liked the Super Nintendo one. Unless you get hit, then it's Knight in his underwear. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and how terrible is that? I mean, tighty whities this guy's wearing. I mean, that's just, hey, bless him, But he's not even wearing chainmail underneath that just to make fucking sure.
Leading off for the curve.
Kind of like fucking Long John underwear with like a little butt flap. Nothing like that. Just straight fucking tighty whities. Beneath. I mean, he was about to fucking throw down with his girl, right? I mean, the beginning of the game, you're out there. I think he's out there in his fucking underwear, next to the fucking graveyard. Odd place to, fuck around with your girl. I mean, unless she's got that kind of Elvira vibe to her, which I'm totally cool with.
He's out.
Like, oh, let's, you know, finger me in the graveyard and then go down on me and then fuck my brains out on this, you know,
baseman, Enrique
this
Bautista.
and because your girlfriend gets taken away by pretty much the fucking devil. So you're pretty much assuming that you're doing some shit in a burial yard of some really evil motherfuckers. Why you would take any girl there? I mean, she better be throwing out some good loving. That's all I'm saying. She better do everything like a champion, if you know what I'm saying. But she wants to do some twisted shit like that, and then here comes the fucking devil, Cutter, and he gone. Or even just a demon, just out of the sky, steals your girlfriend. You're like butt booty naked, damn near. Tighty whities only. You gotta jump into your fucking full suit of plate mail to start the journey to save your fucking girl. Dude, I don't know. I'm not saying that, like, you know, I wouldn't do things for the right girl. But if a demon comes and kidnaps my girl, I wouldn't know where to fucking start, number one. And two, it's just like, you know what? There's nothing I can do. I don't know how to get to hell, but that's only level 4. There's still 2 levels after that to go and save this girl. That better be some of the maddest puss you'd ever want to even get with. Or if you're into guys, that better, you understand the logic though. That better be the maddest fucking pole you'd ever want to dance on. Unreal. I mean, robot-esque, okay? Except it's real. Baby Jesus. I like both of them. It's just a fun series. It's tougher than shit, though, bro. In the SNES version, the underwear has red hearts on them. Oh, well, at least he's got that going for him. He's now got some kind of design. We have 8 hits, 1 run, and if anybody gets on base, I may be pulled for relief. Because of 1-run lead.
Ricky Rogers.
Good pull shot, sounded like a solid hit, too. But was it good enough?
Hey!
Oh, now you're fucking handcuffed, bro. Yeah, even the one for Super Nintendo, I know it's like so... Ghouls and Goblins, whatever it's called. Super Nintendo has a different name. I don't think it's just called Super Ghosts and Goblins. It's the Ghouls and Ghosts, maybe. That game for Super Nintendo, I know, it's like you have to go perfectly through the end level without taking any damage. Maybe you have to have this little sub-weapon. Otherwise, like, you don't get the good ending, or you can't do any damage to the end boss. Something like that. Again, a lot of this I know through the Angry Video Game Nerd. Which, he's great, by the way. If you don't watch him on YouTube, what the fuck, man? Get up with it. Get up with it. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry video game nerd.
First baseman.
And he does great work. That's,
rushing.
like, I almost feel like I kind of know him, because it feels like we're about the same age. And just, you know, experiences with the same fucking Nintendo games. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. Fuck that game. I played it a lot, but fuck that game. Fuck it in the asshole with a cactus until it likes getting fucked up the ass, and then stop fucking it up the ass because it likes getting fucked up the ass with a cactus. Deprive it of the thing it now got forced to like. See, that's how I would roll with it. I should write that to him. Anyway, no, it's just called Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Okay. As opposed to Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Okay, that's... So they kept the ghosts, but they replaced goblins with ghouls. Anyway, next up is Gradius, and that's a weird one because that's a Konami game. A side-scrolling, like, call it a space fighter. My allergies are just kicking my ass.
Leading off for Altoona.
It's not quite like Galaga, where Galaga is it gives the illusion that you're scrolling up vertically. But you're pretty much on a stationary screen, and you're just shooting shit as it's coming at you from the top down to where you are, much like Space Invaders was. Gradius, you're actually flying through a region, an area, from, this is backwards as I'm pointing, but from left to right, like Mario would be. But because you have a spaceship, you get to fly around. I mean, so you're kind of floating and dipping and diving and all that bullshit. You can speed up a little bit, but I think the screen is like auto-scrolling in its own right. And I'll tell you, like, that was a thing with Konami games, where at the end of each level there's a boss, and Konami had this bad habit of making sure that the final boss at the end of the game was really fucking easy compared to, like, the previous level bosses. That's just the thing they did. Contra still exemplified that. And Contra is not on this list because I've gone through alphabetically, and my god, Contra is not on this fucking thing? My brother might actually get mad about that. Son of a bitch, I'm kind of mad about that. But Gradius, a very tough game. I played, I think, for the Super Nintendo, I think it was Gradius 3. And that game was tougher than shit, even with the fucking code. The Konami code, that's, what fucking company did I say? It's the Konami. I don't even know what the fuck company I was just saying, but the Konami code, yeah. That's who made Gradius. Gradius is a lot of fun. I play that on your Switch all the time. There's NES games. Oh yeah, I got you. NES games on the Switch. I always die at this part with volcanoes in the first level. Oh yeah, you die a lot in the first level. That's a fucking Konami game. That's fucking Gradius. That, like, Contra is beatable without the 30 lives code.
0-1.
Super C, or Super Contra as it's just implied, that game you kind of need the code, and that's only to give you 10 lives if I remember correctly. Gradius is just fucking, that's Nintendo hard. That's what that one is. Gradius is a Nintendo hard fucking game. Looked it up, and Ghouls and Ghosts was a sequel to Ghosts and Goblins. Then they decided to stick the Ghosts and Goblins for the rest of the series. Oh wait, they're stuck with Ghouls and Ghosts. They dropped the Goblins. Yeah, because I don't really think there were Goblins in the fucking game. But there were, like, the first enemy you find are Ghouls, zombies. And there's semblances of ghosts all throughout.
Leading off in the bottom of the ninth.
Those screeching harpy motherfuckers. Oh god. Yeah, there's not so much, like, goblins would appear, like, to me, in, like, Castlevania Symphony of the Night as those cute little fuckers, those little mischievous pricks. I think they were called imps, maybe. No, not quite imps. Maybe they were goblins. But they were, like, flying around, and they had, like, a giant spoonful of lava, and they would, like, just dump fire all over the place. That, to me, is what a goblin is. Just a mischievous little green slimy fuckball that you want nothing to do with. But mischievous. They will try to kill you, but it's not like as if a demon will just come and, like, rip your fucking head off and shit down your neck. A goblin will kill you in a almost an accidental way, like, I'm just dumping lava over here. If this is where you need to walk, that's a you problem. And as you're walking by, maybe he kind of, like, dumps some over that way, so it sure hits you in the face.
He's out.
So basically, to say this in a less confusing way, Ghouls and Ghosts and Super Ghouls and Ghosts are the same series as Ghosts and Goblins. They just changed the game, changed the name of the series after the first one. Yeah, Roll Tide. I got you. It's...
0-1's the count.
For Super Nintendo, it's not really the same game, but it's just the same look and feel.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I don't know if it's a linear story. I don't know if it's a continuation from the Nintendo version. I really don't know. But I would wager to say, let's put one on the Super Nintendo because we had one on the Nintendo. That's probably what their thought was. Cutter for the strikeout, and he gone. Looks like another perfecto. Thanks, Skip. That's what you get for pulling me out of that previous game. 22 strikeouts today? Holy fuck, that might be a new record for me. I know it's on easy difficulty. I didn't even see my pitch total there. That's the one thing I would have wanted to check. 22 fucking strikeouts? I mean, I've done 20, maybe 21 a few times. But 22, that's pretty fucking baller status. Jesus Christ. Okay, cool.
Here now, our final.
On to the next one. 831 points out of that. Whew. Look at that. Every inning had at least 2 strikeouts. The first, the third, let me check that. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th. Struck them all out. Yay. Speed, reaction time, and plate vision. Roll Tide. A 3-win streak. Yeah. What did I need? Pretty much $3 grand, right? Pretty much $3 grand. Okay, we're not there yet. Save her up. Yeah, I guess we're going past our 3-game minimum again because I'm having fun talking video game shit. Plus, I'm not even through this list. So, as I continue to check the NES Mini fucking list here. Oh yeah, Gradius. Ice Climber coming up next. Ice Climber I don't know a lot about. It looks very cutesy, cartoony, arcade. But I never really had a lot of fucking experience with that game, to be brutally honest. I mean, even trying to find it, like, through emulators, I just never really checked around for that one. So Ice Climber is kind of a new one to me. Like, I know it when I see it, but even visually, I never played a whole shitbox full of Ice Climber, or saw it, so it's just not really buried in my brain that much. And I know it's kind of got a good, cute following to it. So, you know, roll tide on that. Not that I'm from Alabama, I've just been through there. That's right, didn't even have perfect timing, and that fucking thing was a strike bullseye. Fuck your life, that's how good that was. But next up, Kid Icarus. Pretty interesting kind of game. I never beat that fucking game. And I didn't even look till maybe a couple years ago to see what the ending of that game even looked like. That's another difficult game. That is Nintendo hard. Has an arcade feel to it, because it can get so fucking difficult. But again, the same girl that my brother was in class with, the one that let us borrow Castlevania 2, she also let us borrow Kid Icarus. And where that one has some pretty catchy music, and it's a simple enough game, it's fucking hard. Look at that, we already got gold, we got 13 more throws. Oh well. Let the good times roll, we'll keep going. But Kid Icarus, it starts off as like a vertical platformer, and I think the later, I don't think I ever got past the first level, honestly, because it just seemed to keep going and going and going and going and going, and I'm like, all right, there's these little bonus rooms, but I don't know what they're all about. I don't get what the power-ups are. I never had the instruction booklet, and I never had a subscription to Nintendo Power, so Kid Icarus to me, though it's kind of a memorable and fun game, I never got past the first fucking level. So, you know, there is always that. Never said I was good at all those games, just said that I played it or not. Yeah, but Kid Icarus, that's a fun one. I mean, I wager if I could just get past the first level, like, I'd kind of be okay with that. I'd be like, I'm gonna separate my shoulder, pat myself on the back about that one. That's cool. Well, that was a quick transition for a game that I kind of like. After Kid Icarus, it's Kirby's Adventure. Now, Kirby, there's another Nintendo character that I never really played a Kirby game. Never really did. I know he was another Game Boy fixation for people. Another good lure to get the girls. First it was Tetris, then it was Kirby. Oh, he's so cute. Like, the girls loved Kirby. They thought he was cute. My friends that had Game Boys were able to reel in a couple of girlfriends that way. Well, at least get their attention. Get the attention of girls, whatever. But, yeah, Kirby, and I get it. I get what Kirby is. You kind of inhale your enemy and maybe obtain their fucking special power or something. Oh, man, I need to, like, I'm going to take, like, a Benadryl and a fucking bunch of rum before I go to bed. Bunch of Captain Morgan pineapple rum. Just knock myself the fuck out. It's not smart to do. And I probably won't do that, but I hate taking allergy medicine. Because I don't want to be drowsy. Even though it's late, but I won't be able to wake up then in the morning. That's part of the problem. So yeah, Kirby. Oh, man. Kirby is definitely kind of a staple character now for all like the Smash Brother games and all that shit. He has a really good following of all his shit. And, yeah, just a memorable enough of a character. And, yeah, never played enough of him, so my exposure to it is just not the greatest, quite honestly. I've thrown back-to-back perfect games, by the way. Do they say that, or do they just say, show it, come on. We're riding a 3-game winning streak. Tell me something. Oh, my sinuses are just jacked right now. What's the input? What do you got? Talk about me. Say something good. Working on getting my K9 up to 80.
Leading off with the Senators.
Hornball, Vance
Center
Horner.
fielder.
All right.
Vance Horner.
Bad start, Cornflake.
First pitch, 6:35.
Kirby, yeah. Never really played a lot of it, but I get it, and it's got some memorable tunes, or at least I don't know what series. Well, I don't know what game. I know to have the good music, especially fucking King Deepity's theme. That's fucking catchy. First time I heard that, I'm like, that's good. Shows that strikeout, 12-6. Curveball, sit bitches. Moving on from Kirby's Adventure is Mario Brothers, the arcade classic.
Designated hitter.
Yeah, that one, my brother and I would play a lot of that, because we had an Atari 5200, that big one with the huge fucked out looking controller.
0-1.
It looked like a phone with a joystick on it. Yeah. So we were playing that game on that fucking system with that fucking controller. And, you know, it's, like I said, Atari was arcade driven. You know, there was not a lot of depth to it, honestly. I mean, where there were some games that were probably too big for their own good. I want to say it was called Adventure. You were just this little fucking dot on the screen that you could run around this maze and collect, like, a castle and a trophy and well, collect the castle. Collect a trophy, get a sword, avoid this big dragon that looked like a fucking weird duck, almost. I think it was called Adventure. I mean, that had a decent point to it, but once you beat the game, you kind of beat the game. But it wasn't just the same thing recycled over and over and over again. Like Popeye. I had Popeye on the fucking Atari, and I love the shit out of that. Don't even tell me that's on this. Luckily, it's not. But yeah, Popeye, just like Donkey Kong, with 3 levels that would just repeat themselves, and, you know, play your dick off, get as far as you can, and we got the lead early. That's good. But,
leading off with the Senators.
Oh, God, see, my allergies are affecting my thought now. Don't even know where I'm going. Mario Brothers, I was talking. Slot Raisers is a lot of fun. Do I know that one? Not off the top of my head. I mean, hell, name the platform of that one. That's a game that, in my brain, that could be a couple of things.
No balls, 2 strikes.
I could picture that as an Atari game. I could picture that as a Nintendo game. Slot Racers. Huh.
Oh.
Of course, then there was, like, Dragster or whatever on the Atari 2600. That fucking game was brutal. I would always just blow up the engine because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It is a 2600 game. Okay. Yeah, I'm picturing a very cheap either side-scroller or like a vertical, like, almost a split screen. You know, this player versus this player.
I got to count 1
I mean,
and 2.
unless there's different vehicle types you can take, I really don't know. Like, Combat was kind of a fun game. I sucked at it, but I like the fact that, like you can do helicopters versus jets, you could do tanks versus jeeps or whatever, and you'd have, like, ricocheting bullets if you put in the right input for the fucking game mode. You play as a car, and the car can shoot, and you play in some kind of wacky tracks that almost look like mazes. You have to get a certain amount of kills. Okay, that might be the one. It's like one large screen, and it's you versus like 4 other like computer vehicles, I think. And you have to collect little power-ups or little items that advance you to the next level or some shit like that, if that's the one I'm thinking of. And I want to say that, like, the screen, like, maybe you're focused in on one part of the screen. Like, it's a huge map, but you're only focused in on, like, a certain area. So you can't see everything around you. Whereas, like, on Pac-Man, you can see where all the ghosts are, and you can, like, devise your path, how you're going to work around everything. This, I thought, was more of a centralized view. I think that's the game. That sounds like it. I'll go with that. Bad pitch. I still gotta, like, work up a sneeze here. Fucking allergies. Just trying to get through Double-A. Get my way into AAA. Like, I don't want to be called up this year at all. I don't. I just don't.
Batting eighth, shortstop.
And of course, what I want to do is make my way into the National League and become a pretty decent batting pitcher as well.
All ones the count.
All the movement on these pitches, but I want control too. But I already have good break on these fucking pitches. Like, just work up the K9. The rest will right itself. He go. Oh, barely caught a piece of it and barely went foul. That was going to be easy walk on the bag out.
Nope.
Oh.
Ball one.
I mean, good on him to not swing at that thing, but now he's gone. Good call. Good call. Cutter got it. Woo-ha, where the fuck was I? I had just original Mario Brothers.
First baseman, Malcolm.
If you don't know it, simple arcade, one giant screen worth. And that's a different game because in order to eliminate your enemies, there's like turtles, there's crabs, there's these little like ice monsters that all they do, well, they can kill you, but what they do is like they freeze a platform of the map space, and then it's slippery for you to walk on.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Oh, and then there's like these jumping fireflies as well, which, okay, the turtles showed up in later Mario games.
Nope.
The crabs...
2-2 the count.
I mean, if you want to say that, like, Claw Grip from Mario World 2, or sorry, just Mario Brothers 2, if you want to say that was an enemy that re-showed itself, but those fireflies, I don't really think there's been anything like that in a Mario game, not to my knowledge. Maybe in some of the newer ones, along the Switch or the Wii U, perhaps. But, anyway, no, the way to eliminate your enemies in that game is you have to be... They're on the platform above you. You need to jump up and hit underneath them to kind of stun them. It's not the standard Mario go jump on them kind of thing. You would have to hit them and have them completely stunned.
0-1.
And then you could walk into them and like kick them off the stage out of the level, so to speak. But it's like the turtle, you would hit him generally once, unless it was a different colored turtle, I don't remember. But you'd hit him, and he'd be up on his shell, you know. Eventually, he could, like, rock himself back, you know, to get himself upright.
Saldana.
And he'd be back into the field of play, so to speak. So you can stun them. If you don't get to them in a couple of seconds, they would, like, rewrite themselves and be back to fucking, you know, madder than a fucking hornet. Yeah, the crabs, I think you had to hit twice to stun them, but they could shake out of that stun as well. And the fireflies, yeah, I mean, and they would hop, is the thing. They wouldn't be walking like the fucking crab and the turtle. So you'd have to, like, time that a little bit better. And again, you could stun them, but they could right themselves after a few seconds. So stun them the proper way, and then, you know, kick them off. Just kick them out, kick them straight out. But there'd be like these little fireballs that travel across. Like there's basically 3 tiers to the stage, 3 height levels. And that'd be another obstacle in your way.
Nope, that's down.
So it's like, and again, because that's an arcade style, it just goes on and on and on and on and on forever, pretty much. I heard there is like a last level. It's I guess like level 99. But that absolute level and enemy outpouring would just repeat itself. So there's technically no ending, but it's probably like level 99 if you can repeat that. No, I read up on that. It's not even, I don't think it's 99. Could be, though. Fuck, it could be 117. It could be fucking 63. I have no clue. Got him on that one. But that's Mario Brothers. Next up, Mega Man 2. A beautiful fucking game that I didn't really appreciate as a kid because I didn't know how it fucking worked. I was just the simple Mario mindset. There's a power-up. I touch it. I automatically have that power. I didn't really put into effect like, okay, it's rock, paper, scissors with the bosses.
Leading off
like, I can beat him with my regular fucking pea shooter, but he's so much weaker to this gun. You know, why don't I use this on him? That concept was not in my brain. I surprised that I like video games, and I talk about how just fucking stupid I was as a kid. I just didn't get it. just didn't get it. And Mega Man 2, like, I appreciated that game much later in life. It's like, okay, it's a 2D platformer, I get that, you know, and then, like, to sort of find the weakness that the boss has to, you know, the other weapons you have. And also that idea of, you know, you have, like, health replenishing power-ups, and you have energy,
Now batting,
like gun meter power-ups. I was just not too fucking keen on that. That didn't strike me until much later in life.
Ball one's the count.
Who's your bat there, guy? It's like, now I appreciate this game. And Mega Man 2 is pretty fucking beautiful. By everything that I've heard about it, they made Mega Man 1, and I want to say it was Capcom is the company.
Hey!
But they made Mega Man 1, and okay, they didn't really know what it was going to happen with it. But they had no timetable to make Mega Man 2. So the creators of Mega Man 2, as I'm sure most of you know, they made it on their spare time. They had no fucking deadline to hit. That's why the game is so fucking beautiful, from the music to the just the feel of the game, I guess the physics and the playability of it. They put a lot of time and effort into it. They didn't want to make shit, and because they had no timetable, they just made this game and then presented it, I guess, and they said, well, here's something. You want to put this thing out? They're like, okay. And lo and behold, they had a fucking hit on their hands. Mega Man 1 did not do so well, and I guess it took Mega Man 2 a little bit of time to catch ground.
Hey!
But by that point, it was like already said and done. Like, yeah, this is now a fucking series. And although Mega Man 3 does get a decent amount of love,
No ball,
probably I think that's when the charged shot came into play, and the floor slide technique. I believe that's when that come into play. And of course, it wasn't item 1, 2, 3. You now had what was the dog's name? Rush, the Rush Rocket, the Rush Jet, and all that stuff.
All one's the count.
And it's like, okay, so that's a cutesy little character that they brought in. And I get it, but it's still, for me, Mega Man 2
I got the
is
count.
the...
0 and 2.
That's the game of the Mega Man series for me. You know, and I never played more than 1, 2, 3, and I honestly played Mega Man Soccer and enjoyed it. Nice fucking snag, dude. Holy shit. Tip of the cap on that one.
First baseman, Malcolm.
I got your dinner tonight, guy. Wasn't a moonshot by any fucking stretch of the imagination, but still. Keeps them from putting runners on base, so I'm all fucking for it. Yeah, whereas a lot of people, they love the Mega Man X series on Super Nintendo. I never played those. I just, like I said, I didn't appreciate Mega Man 2 till later. So even at that point, you know, just I go to play, like, the Mega Man X games on Super Nintendo, I'm like, no. It's not what Mega Man should be. Like, I don't know. I guess that's me being a little small-minded to it, because they have a great following. But I just never got into it. For me, it's Mega Man 2 and everything else is in the rearview mirror, quite honestly. After Mega Man 2, we have Metroid. Oh, a fucking Nintendo goddamn classic. And still to this day does very well in its own fandom. But Metroid was another one of those games where it was too cryptic for my fucking 5, 6-year-old brain. I just didn't get, like, I'd get lost as a motherfucker in that game. You motherfucker, goddamn mutt. Yeah, and that's going to be an earned run against me. Because this motherfucking reliever, fuck you, Skipper. Yeah, choke on a dick. Till your eyes bug out of your skull. Go choke on a dick. Fucking Skipper, you're a goddamn idiot. Well, we clearly lost because Skipper's a fucking toolbox. Oh, but that's not my loss, ain't that something? Yeah, you know why? Because I had fucking 11 strikeouts through 6 and a... That's not even a third. Through 6 innings. I didn't get an out. Motherfucker. Motherfucking mutt. And that breaks up the fucking win streak I had going. Goddamn Skipper. Watch. Well, okay. At least we're there. Alright, so K9 is going up to 80 right now. Had 20 points to spare. I thought it was going to be just short. Overall of 71? Jesus Christ. The best here would probably be to get K9 up, and that's going to be 1724. So let's do that as I talk about Metroid. Working our way up. I'm still good on time yet. I was going to do 3-game minimum, but because I'm talking old school video games again. I'm near the end of list number 2 on the box here, so hopefully we can... The Indians have purchased your contract from the AA roster. You are now part of the 40-man roster. I am in the big leagues, everybody. I need to change shit up. This might have just changed everything for me. Because I got to change the difficulty. Dude, from AA straight up to the minors in the month of May. I swear to God that happened to fucking... I think that was Metzger. Back, and I want to say there was the Orioles that I got drafted by. Same shit, not even AAA. Not even AAA baseball. Boom, AA straight up to the fucking bigs. I didn't want that. Oh, fuck you, game. Now I gotta dig around for shit. Oh, man, well, that just ruined everything. Well, that somehow they gave me 200 points just for fucking showing up. That's fun. Thanks, everybody. Fast forward to an 0-1 count with runners in scoring position. Wait. That's not going to do anything. Hitter will not swing. That's a damn good one to have. Oh, my God. I do not have the control. I don't have the H. I'm like, this is going to suck. This is really going to suck. Well, I just lost my track here. We're on Metroid, but this might end the episode because this is terrible. Pitching difficulty, alright, not beginner. Fuck dynamic. Rookie. Veteran. I think I was going to go to veteran. Meter, okay. I mean, everything is good there except for... Even batting, I'll keep beginner. But pitching is veteran. Oh, shit, hold on. There's got to be a couple things here. Pitch delay, API, fielding, I think this is all the same. Basic and advanced. General shit, should be okay. God damn it. No, and not even perfect umpire. I want it to be personalized umpire. Close plays on. Check swing appeals on. Injuries, I guess I'll now put this on. Because I guess that'll be everybody, not just me. Ejections, I guess on if I start hitting too many people. Beaning them. Batting and base running, okay. Okay, so I guess that's good. Presentation, I guess this is the same. Closed captioning is off. Updates, fine. Audio options, that's all fine as well. Mode specific options. Okay, showtime opportunities on. Button mapping, classic or field? I guess classic. Square is first. Playing as a catcher, controls will function like classic no matter the setting. Okay, so classic, this is basically X is home, circle is first, triangle is second, square is third. Otherwise, fielder would be like, because as you're looking at it. So I think triangle would be home. I'm a classic kind of guy, and I know that might fuck me up in some regard, but fielding opportunities all. Base running interface, buttons maybe? I'm not even sure. I think it's buttons. Base running opportunities all. Rather show computer teammate hitting all. Player yells. Did I hear from the controller speaker? No. No, not at all. I don't like a vibrating controller. I don't like... well, you know. Set team association, use as default, I suppose, and apply those changes. My sliders. Modify. Everything was right down the middle, Colton. 50-50. Dynamic difficulty sensitivity. I'm not going to use dynamic, so whatever. Contact power, timing foul. Even this I might want to check up on just to make sure. Just to make sure. Oh boy, yeah, I don't know. I guess I got homework to do. Shit. Wasn't anticipating this. A call up maybe, but not to the bigs. This kind of changes everything, but oh, wouldn't you know, I probably got up. Oh no, I won't play Baltimore. I'll be playing Texas. I don't want to get into this right now. And we were talking about Metroid. Fuck, like that's gonna change everything. Oh. Yeah, man, that just switched up everything. I was in such a groove of knocking motherfuckers out. And see, I'm gonna to become Rookie of the Year, it's like minimum of like how many at-bats for a position player and like 50 innings pitched for a pitcher. It's the month of May. I'm clearly going to have 50 innings pitched rather goddamn quickly. This is why I did not want to get called up in this first year. I wanted to just build up, build up, build up. Son of a bitch, like this is just terrible. And I don't want to go out on a low note. I'd rather the next video be like, alright, now I got to get fucking locked in and play some real fucking ball because I upped the difficulty and this is just going to be the drizzling shits for me. There's no, because like I'll get my dick stomped in this game. And, yeah, man, just not good. Alright, Anibal Sanchez, who was a trade we picked up from Detroit. Let's sim through the date because that's not us. Okay, so no... I mean, look at this guy. He's already got 66 innings pitched in not even 2 complete calendar months. I'm going to get 50 fucking innings pitched, like, relatively soon. And I will be eligible for Rookie of the Year, but not have the stats to back it up. I've never won Rookie of the Year, and I fucking hate that. But I want this to be legit now that I'm in the big leagues. That's up in the difficulty. We're going back, damn it all. Why are they doing this to me? Why, I ask. Do I have to save... No, sliders? Apparently no, but... fuck. Alright, Casey Braxton. You done been called up, son. Straight to the fucking big leagues, though. Oh, man, I just want to make sure this is all on the up and up. Just... Pitching is the only thing that's moved out. Veteran. Whew. Throwing difficulty. Rookie, veteran, all-star, Hall of Fame legend. I mean, I get for fielding, I guess I can go throwing difficulty. It'll automatically throw the ball for you. When off, you are responsible for making all throws. An online play will be automatically set to off. This option is locked or ignored in the road to the show. Oh, is it now? Okay, well. The higher the setting, the more precise you have to be with the meter to be accurate. Rookie is easiest, up to legend being the hardest difficulty. If the throwing meter is off, this option will be locked and ignored. Huh? Pitching is going to be hard enough. Can I just keep everything rookie for now? Is that okay? Yeah, post-game autosave off. Jesus Christ. Already. So from beginner, past rookie, to veteran. Oh, man. I'm not ready for that. I'm just not. Use as default sliders. I might even modify the sliders, and if I do that, I will show that the next time we jump in, but I am going to roll out. So, I mean, thanks so much to Animal jumping in and any other Twitch lurkers for checking out the late-night live stream Let's Play as we've been called up to the Cleveland Indians. MLB The Show 16, following the road to the show career of one, I wanted to say Derek Metzger, but this is Casey Braxton. So, well, I can change up a couple of things on the uniform. That's probably just going to be base red. Instead of blue stitching on the glove there, probably just go with those black and red shoes are fucking clutch, though. I'm digging those. I mean, I don't know if I would accent anything else with blue, but that red's looking pretty. That's a nice standout there. Anyway, thanks so much for checking things out. I'm now in a funk. And swig of water for the gamer guys and girls. Called up too quick, but all that being said, MJ signing out for now. We went further than I thought I would go, but we kind of cut it short compared to what I wanted to keep talking about. So, MJ signing out for now. Till we meet again, everybody. I don't know when or where that's exactly going to take place, and I'm not even sure what game we will be playing the next time you and I cross paths specifically. But all I do know is that I will indeed catch you down the road.